Good morning, Titans. Today is Friday, April 8th, and you're watching Cen10 News. I'm Connor Denisi.
And I'm Micah Creighton. What are you going to be when you grow up? One of our reporters met with some local heroes about how to become one of them.
Hey Titans, I'm here at the Frisco Central Fire Station. A lot of us see the fire trucks on the roads and we hear the sirens while we're sitting there in class. But none of us really look behind the scenes. So that's exactly what I did. I came here to interview 3 of the top members of the Frisco Central Fire Station and ask them how they got to where they are and what you guys can do if you ever want to become a firefighter.
Fire marshal is responsible for enforcing codes in state law in relation to fire codes for the safety of occupants and visitors in the city limits.
I'm a lieutenant with the fire department. I ride Engine 1, Central Fire Station. I respond to emergency calls with an ambulance, structure fires, motor vehicle accidents, anything that's dispatched to my station on 911.
My job here at Cen10 is I'm a safety educator, so I do help teach classes. I also am the volunteer and special events coordinator, so I also work with all of our volunteers from the community and do all the coordination of the special events we do for our citizens.
The first thing they need to do is finish their high school education and try to take courses that would help you in your sciences and math. Finishing high school is important, and then from there, going to college, because most aspiring fire officials need college education to move up.
So as far as the recruiting process goes, you have to go to have a high school diploma, and then you'll go into college classes. You will obtain a fire structural certification. Then you go to EMT basic school, which is a class that's offered at most colleges, and then paramedic school.
Anyone who's interested in a career in the fire service, whether you are wanting to be a firefighter or work in a more administrative role or in the education side, you are going to need a college education.
But the common theme of being promoted in the fire service now is leadership, education, and communication. And so being able to be good in all those things is very important, and you can provide the best level of service possible for your community.
The biggest thing coming out of high school, 1, to get your education, 2, to realize that everything you do in the fire service, you have to pass an extensive background investigation, psychological evaluation, so everything that you do after hours and on your own time can hurt you when you go to apply for a job.
I would say make sure that your past is something that you want to follow you. So as you create your past, as you get out of high school, just think about the things that you say and do, because they will follow you. And to get a job in the fire service, you are, they do look at your background. So I would say just keep that in mind as you make decisions going forward.
This has been Mitchell Greger, Cen10 News.
Some people that aren't always considered heroes are the people that run for office and run our country, state, or whatever it may be. Connor explains the significance and why you should vote.
Hey Titans, this is Connor Reddington with Cen10 News. The election season has already begun, and that means many seniors will be voting for the first time. Exciting, right? Well, you would think so, but apparently it's the opposite. According to the census, young people have the lowest voter turnout. Why is this? Well, we talked to Ms. Rosenfeld and a couple of students to figure this out.
Why do you think young people don't vote as much as other demographics?
Because generally we usually are doing, in general, more fun things, I guess, than voting. People just don't even think about it. It's just not really a big deal.
I think because we feel like we don't necessarily always know what we're talking about. It's also a lot of work, and I think we're just afraid that our opinion doesn't really matter when it does, when it counts just as much as somebody who's voted in every election for the past 50 years.
Busy schedules, a lot of stuff to do.
Because they either don't care or they are just too lazy to go and spend 2 hours in line.
To be honest with you, I think so many of the decisions that government makes are things that aren't as tangible to you, things about taxes or, just issues that don't seem very relevant to your life. I often notice that when politicians do talk about things that matter to young people, they're more likely to be mobilized. And you can see that right now with Bernie Sanders. He's talking about a lot of issues that resonate with young people, and as a result, he's really been able to mobilize that demographic. But I think that translates into all people. Generally, if people know less about something, they're less comfortable to vote, and so as a result, they're less likely to vote. So political knowledge is a huge part of it.
Is this a good or a bad thing?
I think it could go either way because a lot of people really don't know anything about politics. And from talking to people at this school, I know for a fact a lot of them don't. But a lot of them who do know what they're talking about definitely should go and vote. So it could be a good or a bad thing.
It's probably a bad thing because the young vote could like turn the election, as we've seen from like Sanders' support.
I think that educated people voting is important.
Did you vote in the primary?
Yes, I did.
I did vote in the primary.
Yeah, I did.
Well, I went to vote, but the lines were really long, so I kind of just went home and slept.
Why does voting matter to you?
I'm 18 and it's my right to. And I feel like if I want the person I want to be president and I don't want Trump, then I need to vote or else I can't complain about it.
We all like to complain about our politician and our government, but if you're not voting, you don't really have the right to complain, and I think it's just part of being an adult and part of being a citizen.
You know, I feel super strongly about the idea that we have a responsibility in our system. I think that, you know, so often we talk about what government has done wrong and how government has failed us. But I think if we as voters don't do our part in the republic, then we are just as much to blame as they are.
Make sure to get out there and vote, seniors. This has been Connor Reddington with Cen10 News.
Just like some famous politicians, people make mistakes, and movies are no exception. Booth Veer has more about some of these mistakes.
It's well known how much work it takes to produce a movie. From casting, editing, directing, and acting, the overall process can take months, even years, to produce one movie. However, with so much work, it's hard for movie makers to not make mistakes, from continuity to major factual errors. How noticeable are these errors? Let's take a look. In the movie franchise's Jurassic Park, the directors feature a multitude of dinosaurs, the main being the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Velociraptors. However, neither of these dinosaurs belong in the Jurassic Park. They only come into existence an entire period after, in the Cretaceous period. Another example is the movie Pocahontas. In the movie, a love interest is developed between John Smith and Pocahontas. However, in reality, she was kidnapped as an 11-year-old, sent to England, and was forced to marry a tobacco seller. But due to Disney's main audience being children, they alter the story. Movies in general contain casual mistakes. Some of these are made on purpose for marketing reasons. The main goal is for us, the audience, to remain entertained throughout the movie, and for them to profit off their creation. This has been Muthuvira Marai Malay, Cen10 News.
Other people that make mistakes as part of their job description are authors, and one recently visited our school. In case you missed it, Soren has a coverage on this author visit.
Recently, Allie Carter, a young adult author, visited our school and told us about the hardships of writing and the journey she went through to get to where she is today.
Your dream scenario, what are you? I'm a professional baseball player, or I am a chemist, or I am a pharmacist, or I am president, or whatever the case may be. Writer was my big long-term dream. But I never actually dreamt I would get to do it. When you turn on a garden hose that has been sitting there basically unused all winter, what comes out first is going to be rusty water. It's going to have dirt in it, maybe some gravel. You know, it's just going to be not good water. But it doesn't stay that way. The only way to get to the clean water is to let the water run. And so I think most writers have to get the dirty water out first. You gotta wonder, you know, in boarding school for spies, maybe for PE you rappel out of black helicopters and then you have to kill a man with a piece of uncooked spaghetti, you know? Maybe everybody gets poisoned in science class and either you create an antidote or you die. And that's how you know if you failed, because you died. And you're like, what is boarding school for spies like? And so I thought I have to write this, because the good thing about Alias not doing it was that I could do it. So I immediately sat down and I told Kristen, okay, I think it's going to be called I Tell You I Love You, but then I'd have to kill you. And it's about a girl who goes to a boarding school for spies. And Kristen immediately wrote me back and said, yes, that's it. Ding, 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 we got it. And not to be all super cheesy or anything, but it was really a big turning point in my life. So, so much of my career trajectory is 100% out of my hands and always will be. And that's, for a control freak like me, that's really, really hard. So just enjoy the fun part for as long as you can.
Now here's Maria with your sports update.
Hey Titans, this is Maria with your Titan Sports Update. Last week, the boys soccer team beat Bryan Adams in the area round of playoffs 2-1. They played McKinney North in the regional quarterfinals on Tuesday, winning 4-3. They play in the regional semifinals today at 10 a.m. against Red Oak. Last week, the girls soccer also won the area round of playoffs, shutting out Mesquite Petite 2-0. On Tuesday, the girls won 5-1 against Prosper in the regional quarterfinals. They play against Mansfield Lake Ridge at 4 p.m. today in the regional semifinals as well. Good luck to both soccer teams as they advance to states. On Tuesday, varsity baseball took on Heritage and dominated 10-2. They take on Frisco tonight at 7:30. Varsity softball also played on Tuesday, closing out the win against Independence 16-13. They go against Lone Star tonight at 7. Seniors, please start sending in your photos to titantv@friscoisd.org for the senior show. If you are sending in a photo, please make sure everyone in the photo are seniors and seniors only. Remember, seniors, if you have prom dates that do not go to Centennial, you need to turn in your forms into the office before April 12th, or your prom date will not be cleared to attend. Congratulations to our Winter Color Guard in earning the gold medal in the North Texas Color Guard Association's championships last Saturday. Deborah has more about our fantastic Color Guard group.
A lot of people want to leave a mark in this world. We want to be remembered, impactful, feel like we've helped at least one person. By leading or teaching a group of people, one is sure to make an impact in someone's world. I was able to talk to the Titan Guard director, Brian Greenleaf, about all he has done through directing guards.
Before I was a guard director, I was actually a guard tech. And then after years of being a guard tech, I moved into the role of a director. I think it was the natural evolution after being a tech and learning from some of really good instructors that I thought, I want to give this a try, and here you go. Oh, I've seen a lot of students gain confidence. I've met some kids as 8th graders, incoming 9th graders that were really shy and timid, and I've seen the confidence that they get from performing, I think also bleeds over into their personal lives. I like impacting the lives of youngsters. There's a passion behind it, and I enjoy watching the students get better and excel, and it's really exciting when I see them continue on with Color Guard after high school. I started teaching in 1989. 1992, I was the Color Guard instructor for the Black Gold Drum and Bugle Corps, and the drum corps folded, and those kids were not going to have another performance opportunity, so we created Black Gold Winter Guard so that those kids could still perform, and they are still around.
What was it like for you to be inducted into the Black Gold Hall of Fame?
It was an honor, but I was the founding director of the group, so when they started their Hall of Fame, I think that they were looking for people that had made a huge impact to the organization, and being the founding director, I think that I was honored for them to still remember that, because most of those kids now don't have any idea who I am.
Please congratulate the following students on winning Student Council representatives. Tesla Da Silva is Student Body President. Maya Alshak-Shear, Student Body Vice President. Lindsay Nellis is the Secretary. Brianna Holleen, Treasurer. Heather King, Historian. Colin Thomas and Reed Ruperek, Public Representatives and Spirit. Lily Ellers, Class President. Eden Fink, Senior Class Vice President. Griffin McPherson, Junior Class President. Braden Carlson, Junior Class Vice President. Gianna Scatatini, Sophomore Class President. Alex Steele, Sophomore Class Vice President.
Congratulations to all our students who competed in UIL competition last weekend. For a complete list of winners, go to Cen10news.com.
That's all for this week, Titans. Have a great weekend.